Welcome to Talk Purpose and Truth, shifting you into higher consciousness. A show that elevates, uplifts, and encourages listeners to grow, heal, awaken, and evolve. Eden and Kim include bold topics, interviews with inspiring guests, experts, and celebrities, intuitive readings, channeled messages, mental health awareness, and hot topics to expand your awareness. Tune in for unprecedented truth, authenticity, on-purpose discussions, and magical...
A guest on that we talked about last week on last week's episode, and we're so excited to have her on now with us. It's like a privilege to have her. Her name is, I'm not going to say it right, so I'm just going to say it my way, Haruko. And her, she also goes by Blue Star Child.
Haruko Blue Star Child.
Yeah. All one. Oh, okay. Okay.
And my dog likes the name too. Oh
yeah, he's excited. Yeah. Yeah, so we're happy to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So you are all the way in, well, for us, it's far, but in Mount Shasta.
Right.
Yes. And you're in your studio, your store.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And I see behind you, you have some of your art.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we're going to just talk to you a little bit about, first, we wanted to know what you do and how did you find out that you have these gifts and abilities to do these things?
Oh, that's a long story.
Tell us.
So I started drawing in this way in 1999. So that's quite a while ago. And I was living in San Francisco, going to art graduate school. And back then I was designing some toy that I was creating. To make the story short, the designing and sketching on the sketchbook became more of my major thing. And I started to make some toys with the rabbits. And so the main drawing was, coming out of the rabbit. And then the drawing just changed into different forms and shapes after that. So sometimes the rabbit looks like kind of enlightened beings. Sometimes start to grow wings. And when I'm drawing them, I could feel their presence. And it's really hard to describe. But when, it's almost like having conversation and this being who I'm drawing and feels familiar. Also, I can feel their wisdom and their consciousness. And so it was just very, very fun, So I kept on going and they took me to different worlds and dimensions through the drawings. But also, I was just thinking it's just my imagination, But the years after years, people, come see my art gallery or come see my art and, they say, oh, I've seen this in meditation or I've seen this when I was a child. And recently some people just like really saw it in another dimension with their own physical presence. So it's just been a very, very fun discovery through creating artwork and discovering different dimensions, different star system, angels and fairies and all the things that we thought it was imagination and fairy tales actually exist, as as we started to really discover that recently. So yeah, it's been my journey in that way.
And you do the sound healing.
Yes, the sound healing started really recently. I love to play music and Native American flutes are the main instruments. And when I was living in Southwest, when I was hiking in a canyon and just bring my flute and commune with the nature and commune with the spirit in the land, and that's how I started it. I was not even planning to play in front of people, but people just keep asking me, hey, can you play in front of people, or can you play for us? And So that's how I started it. And gradually I felt like, singing. So I just shared a little bit of singing, and people say, hey, I want to hear more of your voice. So
Hmm.
it's really a gradual process that I got into this point. And singing is just really recent, a couple of years.
Oh, sounds like you've been doing
Wow.
it for a lot longer than that.
You're
Well,
You're
it's
so
so
good.
we all sing in the shower room and stuff like that. So yeah, it was very beautiful discovery because started from like a childlike play, and then end up really connecting to the different world and dimensions, and really feeling the divine aspect of the worlds that we kind of forgot. And so I got to learn a lot through my drawings, and also activate my own remembrance, and you know healing in a deep soul level as well, by remembering the source energy, the love of different level of the light realm, and angels and archangels, and all the great beings of the light. They're such a amazing inspiration to feel that through the drawings.
Yeah, and I set up a session with you that we are having soon. Um, but before the session, she did for me art. What do you call it?
It's a soul essence portrait.
Soul essence portrait, and she sent it to me in the mail, so I have it now. Um, and it's just cool. I don't even know most of what it's telling you, what it's telling me, and I hope we can talk about that when we meet. But um, it's just really a neat thing to be able to do. The thing that what she offers that's really neat for people. Yeah, and
Mhm.
go ahead.
Yeah, so that is very interesting because I started to do that about 15 years ago, and I was running out of the idea of, what the birthday presents for the friends. So I decided to draw for them, and that's how I started it. And as I draw, I could feel the bigger aspect of people. And so, I could feel her angelic aspect and her very unconditional loving presence. And it was very neat.
Hmm.
So, and then we need to really understand that we are not just the little human beings.
Yeah.
We are multidimensional. We have so many aspects from different dimensions, and try to put this little body together and try to, function and try to bring the purpose on the earth. So, yeah, and then everybody's so beautiful. Everybody's so uniquely different, and uh, and everybody's a beautiful spark of light. And within the spark of light, there's a specific design that makes us unique. And that uniqueness we bring into different incarnations. So in this incarnation, how you're gonna bring that gift and the uniqueness, that's how I'd like to capture. And
Mm.
then write some helpful words in the back. I don't know if you read that.
I saw that.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
it
so
was
it's
pretty
really,
right on. It was pretty
oh,
accurate.
oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really guess. I just feel the words, like
Uh-huh.
you guys channel as well.
Yeah.
And it's really fun for me to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
is that available on your website that people could see about it more?
Yeah, it says
Can
so.
you just share that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did you say? Sorry.
Your website.
Yeah, my website is called www.bluestarchild.com or bluestarchildgallery.com.
Awesome. That way they can look it up. And then if
Yeah.
they Mount Shasta, she's right downtown with all the beautiful restaurants and shops. And that's where we got to have our sound healing. That was life changing and beautiful. How
Mhm.
did you end up in Mount Shasta?
Well, I was in San Francisco before, and I just bumped into someone who lived near town from here, Reading, that's about an hour away from
Mhm.
here. And he said there's a sacred mountain and you've got to come see. So, my heart was, oh, yes, yes, I'd like to go see. And that was the time when I was kind of, bump into the wall that there is something more in my life.
Mm.
I've done this, I've done that, worked and gone to school. And, in a deep soul level, I knew there is something more. And as soon as I came to visit Mount Shasta and saw the mountain and felt the magic here, magical, energy here, I instinctively thought that this is the next place I need to move to discover myself and change my whole lifestyle. So, yeah, that's how I discovered.
Yeah.
And how long have you been there now?
About 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like us. Like once you go, you don't want to like leave. It's hard to leave there.
Yeah. What is it like
Um,
living there?
Sorry?
What is it like to live there?
Well, it's a quite different way of living. It's pretty simple. And mm, most of the time, I discover that people become very hermit here.
mm,
Especially in the first couple of years, because you have to dive deep within, and it's a deep healing happens, and self reflections, and it's a constant energy because it's a high vibrational place here. So there's not much place to hide. So it's a constant self reflections and self observation and working within, and everybody does that, but this place is really you have to have a dedication in a way. So
mhm.
it's kind of like a heavy duty laundromat that you go through in a couple of years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
the energy is different now, so I don't know. It depends on
Yeah.
people as well. I went through so much of the laundromat period,
I
and
like that analogy. I feel like that Eden and I both have been through a lot of the laundromat.
yeah. Yeah. So much of it for probably the past like 6 years for us. And we felt like going there was like our graduation.
Mhm.
Part of
Yeah.
it, right? And
Yeah.
but at least to a new level.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And many people come here in a transitional time too. Like
Yeah.
you finish the one stage and then another.
Yeah.
Mountain seems to give new inspiration and new alignment for people.
That's how it felt. So yeah, because like for some of us, like we had cycles that needed to end,
Mhm.
and it helped going there to let go.
Right.
Yeah. And then tell us about the Lumerians. We had our own experience with them when we visited there, where we had the handprints on our car.
Uh-huh.
Um, but do you teach people about the Lumerians?
No, not really. I
You
don't
know a
teach.
lot about it.
No, for me, I don't really put information from the books or anything, and all I know is from the feeling which
Oh,
I draw.
Hmm.
And so, I have never been inside of the mountain physically.
mhm,
Um, but when I play music, for example, or when I draw, I can feel their presence, and which is very, very, very gentle, loving, very feminine, and very so much in harmony with the nature.
mhm.
And yeah, it's hard to put it in the words, but the energy is very high and very fine, and they're just watching us gently, lovingly, and yeah, they're very angelic for me too.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
so for them to leave their handprints on our car when we were visiting, maybe that's a good sign.
Of course.
Yeah. When
It's
when I was in
beautiful.
your sound healing, I felt their presence.
Mm.
And then you said about the Native American grandmothers, and I felt like someone almost like held my arm or my wrist, like I felt a pressure, in a good way, like in a comforting way, while the sound healing was taking place.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah, it felt good, like nurturing.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that experience in kind of in a way of where I said this in the last episode, but my hands felt like they were being pulled, like they were trying to pull me towards the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the message, oh, you need to go to the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we ended up going there, and it was just a whole other world over there. When you're there, it just you feel everything. You feel the vibration. We could hear sounds, and yeah, it was incredible there.
Wow.
Do you go there ever
Go where?
to the
In the
mountain?
Yes, of course.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you hike it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which area is your favorite to go hiking?
Mm, wow. I don't really have much favorite. Panther Meadow is beautiful, you know. It's not really hiking place. But I just go wherever my heart feels calling, cold to go.
Right.
And mostly I don't really seek for mystical experience these days, because many people are into it. So I just rather really enjoy being in the nature, you know,
Mm-hmm.
sit still and listen to the birds. And so, I don't really have much exciting, a mystical experience to share with you in that sense. And it's not really been my focus, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
It's like more like being in this body and, feel happiness and joy and health and connection with the people, the humans,
Mm-hmm.
is more of my focus these days than really thinking about other dimensions. For some reason, probably it's just that this period, because we're
Right.
needing to really focus on our, level of world to be in harmony
Mm,
and in peace first before we connect with the higher dimensions.
yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're helping so many people just by being who you are and sharing your gifts.
Right. Yeah. Like you guys.
So
We try.
thank you. Yeah. So we really want our listeners to experience a bit of the gifts of your sound healing and
Mhm.
what we experience, and maybe then they go there in person and see you as well. And I know you do also share on your YouTube and on your Facebook and different, areas that you promote yourself in a beautiful way. And it helped us the other day. We were playing your sound healing that was on Facebook, and Eden did a sound healing the other day to yours. And so you have so many people you're helping, you don't even know that you're
Um,
helping.
oh,
So can you share with our listeners a little bit of the sound healing experience?
sure. Maybe I'll share like a
Okay.
few songs or something like that. So
Uh-huh.
I'll go back and okay.
Okay. Do the flute. Make sure you do that one. That I loved the flute.
Yes, I'll start from the flute.
Yes.
Yeah, when
Okay.
you stood over us and you played the flute, that was like, I don't know what, I can't even describe the feeling. It was so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Talk Purpose and Truth podcast. Find out more at talkpurposeandtruth.com. And follow us at Talk Purpose Truth on Instagram and Facebook.